Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. The Cheeky Lads are back with another episode of Cheeky Podcast with the Lads.
Absolutely.
Nick is not here again because Curtis did such a great job last week. And we're happy to have you. I'm also with Kevin, who once again is here with us.
Hello, I'm Kevin, and I'm here with you.
There it is. Together. There he is. So we just got back from a crushing defeat against a very good side.
We said we weren't going to talk about it.
We agreed on this.
We agreed on this.
You know what?
We were going to act like we recorded this before that.
Yes.
If we sound sad, that might be why. just a heads up for all the listeners. So let's start with the obvious. In that Leicester can possibly clinch the league tomorrow.
Like, is this a real conversation? Is this real life?
I'm still trying. It's still setting in. You know.
Every time I look at this table, I'm like, oh, that's right. Oh, they're winning. They're like far out from everyone else.
We've been waiting for them to lose all season.
Everyone has doubted them. I don't care who you are, unless you're from Leicester. Everyone has doubted them.
Leicester has doubted themselves.
Leicester doubted themselves. You don't go into the season thinking, oh, we're going to win the league, unless you're Liverpool.
Only the most deluded Leicester fans.
Right. But it's funny. Last week, no Vardy, no party, except, who was it? Ujoa came in and scored?
Yeah, that dude's been stepping up.
He was
everyone. He was their main striker last season.
Right.
And he had a killer first half, and then he kind of died off like so many do. Jerome. Yeah, I'm calling you out, Jerome.
And it came along with just Vardy starting to play well. He was getting the playing time, and he's just starting to complete the great story that is Jamie Vardy.
Right.
From a construction worker to starting striker for England. So, I mean, the man has come a long way. Possibly get his own movie now. How about that?
I can't wait. That'd be awesome.
What do you think? What would you call it?
Well, I'm still predicting that they're going to catch him for doping. Have you seen his face?
At the awards. The man was
the dude
somewhere else.
The eyeballs were popping out of the head.
Twitter was blowing up over that. I really hope they don't get caught for doping. I hope they're just got better.
Yeah, no, maybe Conte.
Maybe Conte.
But no, he's just got like a 1,000-mile stare. He's got a creepy vibe to him, Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, and I think that just adds on to his presence. I mean, that's Vardy right there for you. There's certain players that are that way. You just don't know. It's a mystery. So Vardy having a party is...
He's like too quiet, too. Yeah. I mean, he's like, I don't know, he's not quiet.
My thing is, why does he still have that cast? He's had it on.
Well, why would you take it off at this point?
That's true. I want to know how long the injury was originally, but there's no reason why anyone should have that cast on still.
When he needed it off months ago and he just kept it on.
Yeah.
Look, if you're Leicester at the top of the table,
you don't take that cast off.
You don't take that cast off.
You keep the way
you don't take that cast
are.
off until November.
Yep.
You leave it on.
You ride it out. You wear it for the Euros.
Exactly.
When that thing comes off, it's going to stink, but you know what? It'll be worth it because you'll have a medal.
It's got to stink already.
Absolutely. Well,
anyway, moving on from Jamie Vardy's stinky cast.
Yeah, let's not talk about that again.
That was a regression.
There's still a chance that Tottenham could catch up. I honestly thought, I tweeted this out last Saturday. I believe it was in all caps, Leicester will bottle the league. And that was before their game last week, which I didn't think they were going to win. And then Monday, I believe it was, Tottenham have a game against West Brom, and they didn't win. I was counting on Tottenham to win out the rest of the year, and they didn't win.
That's why I don't think Tottenham's going to win.
I don't even think it's Tottenham. They're still such a great side. I just hate West Brom.
They're such a nothing side.
All they do is sit back and defend for 90 minutes they get results every once in a while because
that Tony Pulis side is strange. One of my favorite players is there, Christian Gamboa. We saw him play, if you remember, against the United States at Red Bulls Arena, and he was, causing trouble to all the U.S. defenders on that right side, but he can't even get a minute there. Same with Gnabry, which we loaned out to West Brom. He played a game in half a season, so I don't know. Tony Pulis is a strange guy. He still has a job, which is a lot more than some of the coaches could say. And one of those coaches could be Arsene Wenger. The protests today, there was apparently 2 scheduled protests going on at the Arsenal game against Norwich. And according to people who are at the stadium and people who've just been reporting online, apparently this whole stadium just completely just stopped the protests from going on. Some people were like they had their signs up like Wenger out, this and that.
Right.
And then the crowd just started cheering, there's only one Arsene Wenger. What's your opinion on that?
It's nothing. I mean, like, that means nothing to me. I think he still needs to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
His development of his team is just so slow. They bring in Ozil. He's a hit. They bring in Sanchez. He's a hit. They bring in Cech. He's all right. He's doing okay. But think of when Mourinho came back to Chelsea. He went and he bought Diego Costa, Cesc Fabregas, Felipe Luis, brought back Thibaut Courtois, and they won the league. I feel like he buys one player per transfer window, and it's too slow of a progression, and that's why it's taken so long.
Like, why stop at Ozil and
Right.
Sanchez? Why
Yeah.
not keep it going?
You've got the money.
You've got the money.
Why not? You see Man United transfer in like 6 dudes.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
I
they're
don't,
still
to be
Man
honest
United,
with
but
you,
at least they're trying.
lots of people are like, oh, don't want to switch up the team camaraderie. Like, but you have to. You have the money. You're a top club. You have to spend money, and if it doesn't work, you sell those people. You cut your losses and you sell them.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that work, fantastic. That's why that money's there for.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think when you are a manager of a club, as long as Arsene Wenger is managing a club, you deserve to finish out your contract, especially when there's 1 year on it. Granted, his progression has not been the best. They haven't been moving up in the table every year, but they've been in the Champions League.
Hardly.
They've been in the Champions League. They've been competing. You
Hardly.
know, they're not getting blown over. They're not getting blown out every game.
They're consistently 4th place
Third.
at the moment.
Actually fourth at the moment.
Well, City still have a game to play,
Right.
and then they'll be ahead from goal difference.
Right.
But I don't know. I just feel like if there's no progression, then you gotta try something new. You can't sit with around 4th place for what?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't
Years.
finished in the top
Years.
2 in probably anywhere in the last decade. As the Arsenal fan, I do have a lot because I mean that's the team I watch. I study them.
Yeah, honestly,
And-
these are outside opinions. I don't,
Right,
watch Arsenal
it's not
nearly
the
as
same.
much as
That's
you
like
do.
if I was commenting on the Chelsea situation. There's obviously a lot more than I don't know
Yeah.
that Kevin knows about.
Right.
My opinion is I wouldn't sack him because you don't sack a man that's done that much for your team. Although Invincibles, that was over 10 years ago. All right, that's in the past. I'm not putting that. I'm just saying the situation that he's put us in every year to fight at least. I do appreciate that. And he's got 1 more year left. At least let him get someone who's going to be under his wing. Like apparently Thierry Henry. I wouldn't want him as the coach, but he's slowly moving him from the under 16s up to becoming a full coach, kind of like what Zidane is doing at Real Madrid. Although I wouldn't like Thierry Henry as the coach. I'm not exactly sure who I would want as a coach. I know Diego Simeone is a great coach, but would he actually come to Arsenal? I doubt it.
I don't think he would.
No, all the good coaches for me are taken, basically.
Atletico have been doing so much better each and every year. I don't think he would just drop everything and quit.
I mean, he's progressively gotten them better and better, even to a Champions League final, and possibly another one this year.
Possibly. They're on
So-
the road to it.
Yeah,
I mean,
We can talk about that in a little
we
bit.
can talk. We will definitely talk about that in just a
Absolutely.
bit. The thing I have noticed about Arsenal, and this is more of the tactics on the pitch, and to blame is everyone from just the players on the field, Wenger, everyone. I've noticed that we have a lot of possession against these smaller teams that we can't beat. We beat Leicester twice this season. We drew against Tottenham. We beat City very comfortably. So those are the top 3 teams right there, if you think about it. And we did beat United the first game of the year when we were in top 4, or the first time we played them earlier in the year. Those games are against pretty good oppositions, I would say. And possession was about half and half. Everything you expect about a box-to-box game.
Mm-hmm.
So when we lack possession as much as we do against smaller teams, because against the smaller teams we have 70% possession, and we just pass it around their area.
It's so frustrating to watch. Oh my god.
Get to anywhere. But in the first half of the season against the smaller teams, it wasn't as bad because of one player in particular, and that's Santi Cazorla. Santi Cazorla moves around so much, and he might not be the fastest or anything like that, but how he finds spaces and links up with others from the back, from Coquelin, from Mertesacker and Koscielny, is extraordinary. I would say he's better than Mesut in that aspect. But when you combine Mesut and Santi, those are 2 players who are going to orchestrate your entire midfield.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he did get injured halfway through the season, and ever since then, Arsenal have been dropping points left and right. And that's because we have all this possession against these bad teams, but we don't do anything with it. Whereas the first half of the season, we were working around that because we had 2 players who could create out of nowhere. Where now Mesut, he's being double teamed, and everyone's just always following him.
Right.
No one else is going to create. So that's what I've noticed. Even against Barcelona, we did end up losing on aggregate by a pretty fairly big margin, but I don't think we played bad. I thought we hung with them up until we put the whole team forward because we had to. So when we play against the big teams, I do feel we play well, and that's because we don't have as much possession. We catch them on the counter. But when we play against these smaller teams without a Cazorla, a player that can create, that's when we find our troubles. And that's what I've noticed these last couple games. No Cazorla, no one's doing anything. Ramsey's not going to do that for you.
Right.
Onani's just joining.
Yeah.
And that's a frustrating thing, knowing you're so much better than these teams. But if they sit on you, you're not going to be able to beat them.
Right. Do you think, say Arsenal buy Granit Xhaka,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty, talked about rumor
Yeah.
for a while now. Granit Xhaka is kind of like a defensive mid, but he can go forward a bit.
Right.
Would you put him in over Coquelin?
I would. Only because...
And that's surprising because last season,
Right.
Coquelin was like a god to Arsenal.
Yeah, and it was because that was what we needed at the time.
Right.
We needed defensive assistant, someone who's going to sit, not just lunge forward.
Right.
Which is what Ramsey does.
And you don't hear about him anymore.
No, he's quietly done there. I think Arsenal's issue is goal scoring. The defense holds up.
No, yeah, you're right.
It's all these draws. I mean, we only have, like a couple. I mean, we do have like 7 losses. But it's not like we're getting, blown out. It's just we lack the scoring ability. And I feel like if
You think that's from something you can gain from a good striker? Or,
I think it's a combination of things. But yeah, I mean, I feel the slack that people are giving Giroud. It's 21 games without scoring. Half of those, more than half of those, I would say, he's come off the bench playing 20 minutes. That's unfair.
right.
But it is fair to criticize him, just not to the extent that people are giving him. I mean, obviously, you go 21 games without scoring, that's a fair amount. But he didn't play all game for most of them. And it comes from many things. Teams are just sitting deep on us because they know they can get away with it. So, I mean, a better striker, I mean, I would definitely take one because who wouldn't?
Right.
But Giroud does a lot more than just goal scoring. It's the hold up play. It's that type of player that I like personally because others can build around him. Right. Then you also want that player who's going to create for himself, like Suarez. He can create for himself.
Yeah.
That's world class.
But you're not going to find a Suarez.
But no, I mean, you can find him. Aubameyang is great. He's going to cost about $50 million.
He's also not particularly keen on leaving Dortmund for another team that has the same amount of ability to win as it. Like he already left a club that he was very far-sighted in seeing. Wow, these guys are going down. They're taking a nosedive. I don't want to be a part of this. And he transfers to a team with all this perspective. People get sold. People get here. People leave, people get bought, and it's a revolving door. and then you flash forward to now where Dortmund is scoring, and I don't think that he wants to leave
I wouldn't want
because
to leave.
they've found their niche.
Not for Arsenal, at least.
No, not for Arsenal. He'd be putting himself in the same exact position he's in right now, possibly a little worse.
Yeah, definitely
Oh,
worse, because there's
absolutely.
only 2 teams in Germany that are going to win that.
Right.
Yeah.
And if he's going anywhere, he's going to Madrid.
Right. And believe me, I would love to watch him there.
Oh, that would be amazing.
His grandfather wanted
Right.
him to play there.
Yeah.
So he's set. If Madrid ask, he's going.
And I've seen rumors of Aguero to Madrid.
But
That was a
here's-
big one.
here's
But
my
I
problem.
think they're similar type players, except Aguero is better hold up. Aubameyang
Yeah.
is just absolutely pacey. Will get
He-
by you, no problem.
Right.
And just a scoring machine. He
Yeah,
can
absolutely.
create from anywhere on the field. He can link up with people, and I think that's probably one of the reasons that I personally, when I hear those rumors about him to Madrid, and I know he wants to go there, and like I hear all these rumors about all these people going to Madrid, and Madrid actually shows interest. But then my first thing is, where are they going to go?
Mm-hmm.
You have probably the most dangerous top 3 in the world right now.
Right.
3 guys that
It's
you
either
can
them
literally
or MSN.
hand the ball off to, and then just be like, "All right, well, do what you want," because
Yeah.
you can absolutely dictate what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because the Madrid midfield, it's Cruz, it's James, Isco,
Solid
and
everywhere.
Modric. But if you ask any Madrid fan who actually watches the games, their best midfielder this year has been Casemiro. The guy who they just bought back from Porto, which they had sold to originally. And it's funny, the first game against Barcelona this year, Rafa benched him because it's Barca. You have to play the big names. That's the money you spent. But any Madrid fan will tell you that he is the man who just stays in the back. He is the anchor. That's who you want in. And the second time they played Barca, which they won, and they broke that streak of Barca's however many games they won in a row.
Right.
That's who was playing. You need that player. Arsenal, Coquelin doesn't do that for you. I mean, he's good. I like Coquelin, but preferably if I could bring anybody in, and we had the chance to last year, but we didn't. We just didn't bring him in. Was Sami Khedira. The man is a proven winner. He's won basically every competition he's ever played in, whether it's La Liga, Bundesliga, World Cup. I mean, he's won it all.
He's solid. He
But-
absolutely is.
Now he's off at Juve, so it's hard to get him out of there.
Yeah, Juve are in such a comfortable spot every year.
Yeah.
It's you
They're in a runaway league.
right.
And every year they're just like, all right, let's prepare for Champions League. And some years they really, really compete, and some years they don't. But I've never seen, like, I can't remember the last time where I could think that Juve wasn't going to be in the top 8.
Right.
Right.
And I wish the Italian league was more competitive because I love watching like Roma
Yeah.
and Napoli. They're such cool teams. They have such good talent, but they
So
can't beat
much.
Juve.
Speaking of Roma, you excited about Nainggolan coming in to Chelsea possibly? You like his game?
I do like his game. Am I gonna get my hopes up for it? No, because transfer rumors are always
Yeah.
the ones you hear right away are never.
That's
always
This one seems
Yeah.
pretty keen to happen. Same with the Xhaka one. Those two
I could
seem
see
very
him
likely.
being convinced to go to Chelsea.
And Conte's coming in too, so that just adds more to that.
Conte's gonna bring in a lot of Italian talent, and hopefully give some of these guys who are on teams that are stuck at second, third, fourth because they can't beat Juve. Maybe give them a different, basically a different chance because
Right.
Yeah.
Premier League's all over the place. What do I think Chelsea's gonna be amazing next season? No, I think it's gonna take a little bit longer. I think we'll be okay, and then we'll start. Hopefully, we'll start getting good.
I mean, new coach, new players, new philosophy.
Yeah.
It takes time.
I don't see it immediately clicking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still people who want out who have to leave. There's still people who want
And it's hard
in who
because
have to come in.
there's
and-
so much pressure where
Yeah.
you have to win. You look at Moise, and Moise was given an opportunity, but he was shipped off before half the season was over.
right.
So that's just the pressure of the big clubs, which
Yeah.
is why. I mean, Arsenal. It took them a while to actually, tell Wenger like, hey, get your crap together because we're not going to stand for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Premier League is I've always seen the Premier League and the Italian League very similarly because in the Italian League it's always Juve, and under them will be Milan or Inter when they have good years, Roma when they have a good year, Napoli if they have a good year, but you never know. And then outside of those teams, everyone's even.
Yeah.
Everyone's even, and it's just the matter of they can't get eyes because they have a lot of people who don't entirely have names yet.
Yeah.
And everyone's even, and it's not as fun when you see, 16 teams competing for the last Champions League spot left rather than competing for the title.
Right.
Absolutely. And it's a difficult league to watch for me personally. I do believe, though, that what will be interesting is Pep Guardiola bringing his team back against a very stubborn Atletico defense.
Oh.
Why didn't he play Mueller?
Why does he makes lots of interesting decisions when it comes he'll just completely switch.
Interesting.
Interesting is one
suspect
word.
He has very suspect lineups.
I'm gonna call it bad.
Bad? Okay.
Bad decisions.
And this is not me saying this, the biggest Pep hater out there. This is
me.
This is Kevin saying this, by the way. I do like that he said if his team doesn't make it to the Champions League final, I take all the blame.
Which
he said that.
Should.
He said that, and I'm like, good. You're taking responsibility for benching a man who scored 20 goals in the league this year. I mean, Thomas Mueller, you don't bench him.
No.
Unless, Robin isn't even fit. He's injured.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you miss a lot of what Mueller brings to the table, and it's just fire into that team.
He's so,
Without Mueller, who do you see rallying that team? I mean, Lahm is the captain, but Mueller is Mueller's that guy.
He rallies Bayern. He rallies the national team like something unseen before. He does it so quietly, and just is I'm gonna put my nose down and I'm gonna work harder than anyone else on this field. He doesn't scream, when he's trying to put that work in, and then he'll score or
he screams a little bit.
Assist. No, he
screams in the good way. He doesn't yell at his teammates.
When they do something good and they score, he screams and he gets crazy.
That's passion.
But when he's focusing in on the game, the dude is just he's just refined.
You need a vital goal. He's the one that today, he scored the goal that could have clinched the league for them, except they ended up conceding later on.
Yeah,
I think if anyone, I think any one of us names a list of the top 10 players in the world, Thomas Mueller is going to get on each and every one of our lists.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you don't take that guy to your Champions League semifinal against a great Atletico Madrid side.
And you know what I did see? A statistic was that Pep Guardiola has not won the first leg of the last 4 Champions League games he's played. And that's against Barcelona,
That's unacceptable.
Real Madrid, Bayern Munich when he was still coach at Barca. He hasn't won the first leg of any of those games.
That's unacceptable.
You have such powerful weapons of players. Why don't, even though they do proceed through, in some cases, you can make it so much easier on yourself sometimes.
Right. Absolutely.
Thomas Mueller is Bavarian through and through. He's got the passion to lead that team.
Right.
He's always in the right place at the right time. He's just a brilliant player, and you bench him.
You bench him.
I don't understand.
Pep.
If there was an injury, I don't think there was, though. I don't think there was any reason for it.
He played today.
Yeah.
There was nothing going on that was brought into the news, and I feel Bayern are Bayern Munich. They're consistent, back to front. Jerome Boateng is back, but I haven't seen a player this year. I will say Douglas Costa. He came in. Maybe he was doing that for Shakhtar. I don't watch enough of the Ukrainian league to tell you, to be honest with you. But he came in and did a good job. I'll tell you that. But the only player to me that seems to be excelling more than anyone thought he was going to do is Arturo Vidal.
He really has. Yeah.
And I'm not the biggest Arturo Vidal fan. I feel like he's kind of arrogant, and I just, whatever. But he came in, and he's starting every game. That's that. If you see the Bayern Munich games, he's starting every game. But Pep loves him,
too.
and he's on a scoring streak right now where he's putting in important goals. Scored twice against a team that Bayern faced last round in the Champions League. So I really like what I've been seeing from him, even though I'm not his biggest fan. But yeah, Pep Guardiola is just... I haven't seen players go out there and become better from Pep. Götze has gone down the drain.
Oh, God.
When was the last time you heard anything positive out of Mario Götze?
Nothing. Maybe that he'd be moving back to Dortmund. That's a good positive at this point in his career.
Oh,
reunite
God.
the romance with
You can't be a
Royce.
young talent like Mario Götze and just get benched
No.
week in and week out.
And I mean, there's obviously lots of talent at Bayern Munich, and there's players that are established that you do need to play them as well. But if that's not going for you at Bayern Munich, it is time to go.
Yeah.
And the worst part is that when Pep took over this team, like, do you remember the conversations
It was a
people were
treble-winning
having?
team.
They were like, the only problem that you have at Bayern Munich is picking which midfielder you want to play.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
The back line, you have so many people who you could be like, do you want to play the back today? Sure, why not?
Yeah.
I can use a day off. They just were always solid. They were always in sync. They were scoring. They were winning things to the point where the last Champions League that they won, I was just immediately like, oh, they're going to win the next one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just they're going to win it. They have to.
I didn't like
And
the
then-
way they just totally took Henkes out of the picture because, Pep wants to coach. Let's bring him in.
And
Yeah,
and when he
that's
got
just
there,
disrespect.
people started leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And he started shipping people out and bringing people in. Where I'm like, what are you?
And it's
what
hard.
is happening?
It's hard to forget that incident when he came over to the U.S. against the MLS All Stars, where he just completely snubs Caleb Porter. I mean, I agree with him that the player is going in, a little dirty, but it's an exhibition match. You don't expect them, and he totally denies shaking Caleb Porter's hand. You come all the way from Germany to play against the All Stars in an exhibition. At least shake the man's hand.
Yeah,
and then
sure.
afterwards he goes, "Oh, I didn't see him." Like, come on.
And then I remember that.
Mhm.
And there was video of him
Yeah.
just
Shaking him away.
yeah. He
Unbelievable.
just lied.
Yeah, blatantly lied. Those are the many reasons why I don't like Pep
It's just-
Guardiola.
There's so many.
I do have a personal agenda where I take it farther than most people do. But to be honest with you, Messi carried him. I'm just going to say that. Messi carried him.
Look,
Messi
Look.
carries a lot of people.
Luis Enrique was about to be fired before they won the treble last year. Halfway
Yeah.
through the season, he was like, "Oh, this guy is not that great."
he gets carried. Look, I mean, Zlatan is not his biggest fan, and some people say Zlatan embellished in his book and embellished when he talked about it. But if there's one thing I can trust, it's that Zlatan Ibrahimovic was like, I hate that guy.
Yeah.
He is awful. He just orders people around, and then we go out there, and something completely different happens.
Yeah. And he
then
calls you out on it
yells
like
at
it's
us,
your fault.
And he calls you out on it, and things just don't get done. And then I just see the people around me do it. And if you score despite what he says, he'll still jump on you, and he'll still get at you. And it's just like, I have never heard anything positive about Pep Guardiola other than he wins, and I haven't seen him take a team like Bayern should win.
Yeah, it's expected that they win.
It's expected. If Bayern gets knocked out at like if Bayern doesn't win the league or doesn't come within like 2 points of Dortmund, which is the only team, then you're immediately like, wow, they really
and that's the thing with
underperformed.
Guardiola. Since he became a coach, he inherited a great team,
An
up and
amazing
coming
team.
Messi. Then he comes to Bayern, a team that just won the treble. Obviously, you're going to win. Now he's going to Man City, a team loaded with money, where no matter who you put out there, you're basically going to finish top four almost no matter what.
Right.
So he's put in a situation where it's a win-win for him. He's getting all this money, and people just, I feel like, eat it up. They don't criticize him enough.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's what I don't like.
I'll be interested to see what happens.
Yeah.
The Premier League this season is going to be the most ridiculous thing.
It always is.
With regarding transfers. All right, just picture this. We're in August. All right?
August.
Jose Mourinho, manager of Man United, he looks around that dressing room. He goes, God damn. And he buys and he buys and he buys. Take a
Which
trip.
they have the money for.
They do. Take a trip to Manchester City. Pep Guardiola, he's going to buy.
Yeah.
He's going to buy.
He's
And
going to sell Yaya Toure, apparently. And that's
Oh, yeah, I know.
one of their best players.
I know.
And he's going to buy big.
And he's going to buy big, obviously. Yep.
That's Man United, Man City, Arsenal. I'm
expecting them to buy.
I have no idea what they're going to do.
I
Let's say it's question mark manager.
question mark.
He looks around that dressing room. He goes, okay, I see some spots that I can improve. He's gonna buy.
You would
Chelsea.
think. You would think.
Conte's coming in. Guess who's buying? Chelsea. There's gonna be such
Liverpool.
a huge.
Klopp has his first
Klopp.
entire
Oh,
window
my
to buy.
God. I totally...
And
Klopp is going to
let's not
disrupt
forget-
even in the transfer window.
Tottenham and Leicester City.
Yeah.
Big money. They haven't
Yeah.
finished top 1 or 2. Like
That's a
in
big
a
bonus.
long time. That's money.
very different
That's
from
big boy
finishing
money.
mid-table.
So the Premier League has
It's gonna
and
be
will continue to be the best league in the world, in my opinion, and definitely the most entertaining for sure.
Oh hell yeah!
Well, the coaching that they've now inherited is just on a
it's
different
genius.
level.
Yeah.
You're seeing just titans clash. Like, can
Dude, I'm so excited.
can
now.
we think
Euros
Just-
and then Premier League next year. Oh,
we all might be in like the first week or two of homework, and then just suddenly it dawns upon you, holy crap, Klopp and Mourinho are about to have a brutal battle in front of millions of people. I have to watch this.
then you see next week, Pogba comes into Man City. You know, just bizarre, like absolute big
It's gonna be
money,
insane.
big money
There's
signings.
a new TV deal too, where every single club in the Premier League is going to
Yeah.
get more money.
Absolutely.
Yes, I heard.
For all we
And-
know, we could have another Leicester in our hands.
We could.
We just don't know.
It'd be funny if all these Titans come in and they buy and buy and buy, and like what Leicester or a team like Leicester's wins it again. That'd be Premier League. typical
That's
stuff.
Premier League right there for you. Absolutely.
But yeah, oh my God, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. Before we go, I do have 2 questions to ask you guys. Number 1, what are your predictions for the second legs of the Champions League matches? We've got Man City away at Real Madrid and Atletico away as well to Bayern Munich.
I think that Real Madrid soundly 2-0s.
2-0.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2-0, easy.
I mean, Ronaldo
Easy.
didn't play last game. Joe Hart stepped up huge.
Yeah,
I mean, as
You
a
can only
keeper,
do
you can
that.
only think that you can only do it so many times.
Right.
yeah. I think they go 2-0, and I think that the only thing I can think for, I don't know which Bayern you're gonna get. I don't know if you're gonna get the Bayern that just gets unlucky and misses everything a foot wide, or if you're gonna get the Bayern that is coming at the keeper. I think that if anyone, I think Griezmann nets one, and I'm gonna say a draw for Bayern, which is nothing against Bayern. It just says a lot about
Absolutely.
how much Atletico is just catching people off guard.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think?
I'm looking into my crystal ball.
Okay. What's it telling you?
I'm seeing an Aguero hat trick. No, I'm
Hat
kidding.
trick.
Oh.
Come on, man.
I see Aguero netting one. I see Ronaldo netting one. Maybe Madrid win by the skin of their teeth, but I don't think Man City are going down without a fight.
Without
That's
a
for
fight.
sure. So it's kind of hard to.
I'll tell you what, Pepe
Call that one.
played Aguero very well last game. Wouldn't let him turn.
Right.
Which,
Yeah.
I mean, fair play to Pepe. I do think Madrid, I mean, Ronaldo has rested. He rested that first game of the draw. He rested today, and Real Madrid barely won, thanks to a Gareth Bale header. 9th of the season. 9th Gareth Bale header of the season, man, which is a lot.
He's a
Right.
machine.
But I do think they should win. The Madrid will have Carvajal and Marcelo back. You just expect them to win. I don't even know if expecting is a word.
You do expect them to win, but it's Madrid, and they always have...
It's still a semifinal.
They
Still a
always
big
have
game.
this way of kind of like, kind of disappointing people.
Right.
Yeah.
But I also see Atletico Madrid, with the Bayern game, just sitting back. And not letting Bayern in.
I think that game is going to be very interesting, where if Atletico find a way to win that game, that's it. It's done, because they have the away goal, and Bayern Munich aren't going to score 3.
Right.
No.
They're not going to score 3 at home.
No.
Right.
I mean, they might, but against that defense, I don't see how it
I don't
can
see it
happen.
happening, yeah.
No.
I think Atletico did the hardest job.
Yeah.
They just need to,
Absolutely. And
pat it in.
fair play to Saul for that goal. I mean, he took on the team.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I mean, they have all of the setup. The difference between them and Bayern is that Bayern needs to press up, and they need to press on their opponent in order to actually affect the top third of play. And I think Atletico could sit back and then just have 2 guys up top and absolutely...
We could see like a Griezmann counterattack kind of.
Absolutely, just harass them.
Yeah.
Because no one in the back has the pace to keep up.
Griezmann can take that back line.
Yeah.
And I mean, Boateng just came back. Bernat has been playing at left back.
Bernat has
and he's
been very
shaky-ish.
Good. Yeah.
Who knows who's going to be that other? Might be Benatia. Might be the new guy, Tassi, that just came in. I doubt it'll be him, but you just don't know. I mean, that defense, it got torn apart by one run. That one run could end up being the difference in this game.
Right.
But I do have one more question for you guys. What 4 teams are going to be in the Champions League next year for England? What representatives are going to be there? Because if Liverpool win the Europa League, that qualifies them for a berth in, which means 4th place gets knocked out.
Right. I think Liverpool can do it.
Think so?
I think they can.
Think so.
They've been looking really impressive lately. So I'm going to say Liverpool. I'm looking at the table right now. Liverpool knock out Arsenal, who are going to be in 4th. And I see City, Tottenham, Leicester.
City, Tottenham, Leicester, Liverpool.
Which is a extremely weird 4 going in.
Yeah.
Not only Leicester, but Tottenham doesn't always get in.
Arsenal always got in. Last 20 years.
Yeah.
And then Liverpool,
back in it.
Back in it.
Right back in it.
Yeah, I mean, they've been revitalized with their new crazy
Their biggest signing of the
manager.
season is the coach.
He's a crazy person.
Then again,
he will get results.
Then again, one-word answer, because we got to wrap this up. Do you see a 4 of Leicester, Tottenham, Liverpool, and City doing anything in the Champions League next year?
Well, I don't think Liverpool will get in. I like Villarreal.
Okay, theoretically.
In the Champions League, it depends on the draw.
I said one-word answer, G.
Yes, Tottenham.
Tottenham?
Yeah, they can make some noise.
Uh-huh.
Tottenham doesn't get past the round of 16 though.
Ooh.
I think they get there and then they just...
Big prediction.
I don't think so.
All right, let us know what you guys think. Who 4 teams are going to make it, and how far into the tournament will they make it? Thanks for listening.
All right.
See ya.
Signing off.
See you guys.